Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit today about some more life stuff, and I want you to pose the question to you of why are you doing with your life what you're doing with your life? It's kind of a simple question at the surface level, but I think if you really take a step back and you look inside yourself and you look at all your actions, look at the things you've done in your life, you might be surprised at what you come up with when you start to contemplate some of these things. What I've learned about life, what I've discovered about life, and just from what I see people all around me doing, and definitely what I've caught myself doing at points in time, is we find ourselves in these situations where you end up doing things with your life that are not really things that you want to do deep down. You oftentimes will do things with your life that you think other people want to see you do, or you think you have to stay on a certain path in particular because it's going to make you look a certain way in somebody else's eyes, right? For example, it might make you look like a quitter if you change up what you're doing. It might make you look like, you think somebody's going to perceive a weakness about you maybe because if you stop doing one thing, you start doing something else, communicates a certain type of message to those around you that, whatever it is, maybe you were unsure about what you were doing, or you were, like I said, you're not a hard worker, you don't have resolve, you don't have drive, you don't have all this kind of stuff. We end up doing things in our lives because we want to avoid that sort of perception by our peers all around us, family, friends, whatever. And what I've learned about life is that all those things are well and good, but really at the end of the day, what really matters is like what you want to do deep down with yourself. So, for example, I always think about this one. I watched a lot of friends go down this sort of path in life. Early on, they had wanted to do one particular type of career. They worked very hard. They got into that career. They got a few years into it, and then they figured out, they decided after a few years doing that job that it wasn't really what they loved. It wasn't really what they wanted. And from that point of realization, it was oftentimes years. And in some cases, I still have friends that have never hopped the tracks and changed their lives, but they ended up sticking in these situations that they were truly not really happy with deep down because they didn't want their family or their friends to think or to know that they made, quote unquote, a wrong decision, which I don't really know that those words are appropriate to describe this sorts of thing, but they almost had like too much pride, okay, to the point where they couldn't unplug and change their lives. So they would rather go through life being unhappy in some arguable senses than make a change in their life, do something drastic, do something way different because they didn't want people all around them to think certain things about them. And when you really step back and think about that, I think most all of us would agree and see the ridiculousness of going through life in such a way. And I'm just trying to remind you guys today that your life is about you, okay? It's not about what anybody else thinks about you. It's not about what the world thinks about you. It's not what your family thinks about you, really. It's about you and your decisions and your happiness and your piece of, whatever that looks like in your life. That is the paramount thing. So at every waking moment and everything you do, guys, it doesn't have to be just a career, but even in like, what are you doing with your weekend plans, okay? Maybe one part of your groups is like egging you on to go do XYZ activity, and you're like, no, I just want to stay home and relax this weekend. That's what you want to do deep down. But oftentimes you'll get coerced, you get talked into doing things. But at the end of the day, you're like, I don't want to be out tonight. I don't want to be in this bar tonight. I don't want to be shooting pool right now. I just don't care to be doing this right now. And at the end of the day, it's like, you have to learn to do what you want to do and override these other factors that are all around us in the world. Like I said, your peer group, your friend group, just society in general. It's a hard thing to do. We all succumb to these sorts of pressures. We all find ourselves doing things at various points in times in our lives that we don't truly want to do deep down. It's not what I want, okay? But we do these things. And, sure, there's some little things in life that if you're trying to appease your romantic partner, or you're trying to make somebody else happy, or you have like vested interest in doing something, sure, there's going to be things in our lives that, we don't necessarily want to do, but we have to do because we have responsibilities. But I'm talking about this high level stuff, guys, the big picture stuff, right? Don't stay in a career that you're not happy with just because XYZ reason, okay? Is it really what you want to be doing at the end of the day? same thing goes for these other big lofty things in your lives that you're going to endeavor to do. I want you to keep that mindset about you as you go through life, because more of your time that you burn up doing things you truly don't want to do deep down, I mean, that just leads to an unhappy place. You're not going to lead a fulfilling life that's going to leave you stress-free and happy and enjoying things. And that's the goal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's what living a successful life is all about in my eyes. But it takes that hyper-tuned sense. It takes a little bit of maturity. It takes like getting over that hump of just not caring so much about what other people think about you or how they might perceive you, but just telling it like it is, being honest with yourself, and when need be, just make a stand and tell your friends, no, I don't want to go to the bar tonight. You guys have fun with me. Like go piss off, go kick rocks. Like, you're not going to be able to peer pressure me into doing this, or go home and tell your parents today, hey, that career that you thought I wanted to do when I was 18 years old, damn it, I don't love that anymore. I want to go do something different. I'm making a drastic change tomorrow. I'm getting up and doing it. Okay, things like that. Okay, guys, I encourage you to take a leap, take a step over that edge, change up your life if there's things that you're not happy with. Okay, what do you want to do deep down? That's the important part. All right, ask yourself that question. Like I said, just consider all the things in your life that you've done as a result of the external factors, right? What other people want you to do, what people would think of you, all that kind of stuff. This is very, very important, guys, okay? All right, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.